What's up, you guys? Quick video because I'm cooking a chicken right now and I'm kind of late doing it. I just wanted to touch base because I think all content creators should stop and acknowledge this situation. Do you guys all know about that situation that is blasting social media right now, where a guy named Jeremy Brown viciously beat the crap out of this woman in a Chicago carryout? Like, he didn't even know her. It wasn't like they were dating or anything like that. She didn't even know him. She was there getting food. He was there doing whatever, I guess being some trash. And he ended up beating the shit out of this woman, like ferociously punching her in the face on repeat in front of her 14-year-old son, who then ended up shooting him and killing him. Eventually, the 14-year-old son and the woman went to jail, but they were excused, as they should have been, because that was totally self-defense. No one else was helping this boy's mom, right? Um, I know, I don't know anybody who loves their mom that would stand there and watch her get beat by a man if they could stop it. And by the way, there were all these black men in there. She was black, the dude was black, and there were other black men in there who just watched. And I know a lot of people say, well, some of the men in there were elderly. Honestly, I really don't give a fuck. I really don't about them being elderly. And there were some in there that weren't elderly, by the way, that were failed to be mentioned, that did not help. They just stood by because, well, I'm not going to go deep into how, I don't have to go deep. I mean, it's pretty highly aware that the black woman is the most hated person in the entire universe, let alone the biggest predator of a black woman is a black man. All right, so I mean, that shit right there. But wow, that was very sad, y'all. And what boggled my mind, but it didn't, but it did, was the guy, the assailant, who had to be shot in order to stop viciously beating this boy's mother in the face, whom he did not know, in a Chicago carryout. The fact that he's dead, guess what his mother, the mother of the man who was beating the woman, said? She broke out her old church lady, black church lady voice and said, "Oh, my son was a good man." You know how they talk. He, with their dentures, he was a good man. But your son was not a good man. If your son was a good man, he would still be here. He would still be here, ma'am. Because he wanted and chose to beat the wrong woman, because any woman's the wrong woman, but he got the right one that time, in a sense. The fact that he chose to beat her in the face, his ass got blasted down. All right? His son is not a good man. But that mama jumped right up there and was like, "Oh, my son's a good man. He didn't deserve to be shot." And then had the audacity to put up a GoFundMe for his nasty, abusive. Okay, I'm going to try not to. I try not. I know I'm black, but I try not to. I try not too hard to be like nasty with it on here. But so I'm trying to find different words to say, but we'll just say, yeah, his gross ass deserved what he got. His mother decides to overlook the fact that he's an abusive piece of shit, more than likely because of her. I'm not going to just blame her and say she didn't bring him up right, but because every nasty abusive man is not a result of an abusive mom or a neglectful mom. But when she turned around and said, "My son's a good man," and didn't acknowledge the fact that her son was beating the shit out of a woman and got shot and killed because of it, that's when I knew, oh, you're the problem. Yeah, she was one of those moms, one of those enabling moms, one of those coddling moms, one of those, "My son can do no wrong. Yes, I saw him raping and murdering and pillaging and killing and all of that, and robbing, but he's a good guy. You just need to get to know him." One of those bitches, right? And then threw up a GoFundMe so that people can use their hard-earned money to help you bury a bitch. That bitch being her son, the abuser, right? Who the fuck gonna help you bury him? Why would someone spend their money to help you bury a bitch, right? An abusive bitch. Nah. I thought it was horrific. It made me think of the dynamic between the narcissist and his mother. It like there's no way you could see that story and not think about it, because see, the narc's mom sees him being abusive and gross and fucked up on repeat. This isn't the first time that man hit a fucking woman, I can tell you that. It's not the first time that man hit a black woman, I can tell you that. It's not the first time that man popped off and almost got his ass murdered, I can tell you that. This is not the first type of trouble this man has got into, I can tell you that. The way that he hauled off and did that shit like it wasn't nothing, and the way he looked and shit, that dude was trash. And his mama knew he was trash. This isn't the first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 18th time that man has done some trill, dirty, trifling, disgusting bullshit. I know it to be facts. You know what I'm saying? And his mama was the first one out the gate to be like, oh, not my baby, not my boy. Yes, your baby, your boy, especially your baby, especially your boy. That's why your boy and your baby need a GoFundMe now, because his broke, gross, disturbed, bullshit, abusive, trick ass, bitch ass, then gone off the deep end and got handled at the hands of a 14-year-old that wasn't going to let him beat on their mama. Now you got to find out how to bury him. Because, see, while he was out being a hood rat and beating the shit out of women in random carryouts, he didn't have a life insurance policy, did he? Did he even have any money left to leave his children, which he had 2 daughters? Oh, I guess they're going to grow up pretty great knowing that their dad is a woman beater, which they probably already know, because I'm sure they've seen it happen to their mother, right? But now you got to start a GoFundMe to support his broke ass, because all disturbed men like that beat the shit out of women, some of them got money. I can't say all. I'll say the majority so that I'm not completely incorrect. The majority of broke ass, rundown ass men that look like that guy that beat the shit out of women are broke as fuck, and they're coddled by their mommies. He probably lived in his mom's basement or some shit like that, or just stopped living in it, live off some woman or some shit. They never have their own shit. They ain't got nothing to leave behind. They don't have anything to contribute, and they don't have nothing to lose. The most dangerous man on the planet, and I'm speaking for women, I'm speaking for humanity, but the most dangerous man on the planet is the one with nothing to lose. And narcissists and shitty abusive men like that, they don't have anything to lose, baby. Okay? And when they don't have nothing to lose, they don't have a problem taking everything from you. And sometimes that's your life, right? And had that woman's son not handled that guy and stepped up and manned up far beyond the actual grown-ass men that were actually in that carryout that didn't do anything about it, her 14-year-old son was the biggest man in the place. She might have lost her life that day. It reminded me kind of the movie Sleepwalkers by Stephen King. This didn't result in like someone beating like somebody's mom in a carryout. Obviously, it's Stephen King, but it was just how that mom-son dynamic in that movie reminded me highly of narcissistic relationships between mothers and their sons, where like she would send her son out to go just do dirty shit, and when he would get in trouble doing dirty shit and attack people, she would cover for him and be like, oh, not my son, it could not be my son, my son would never do that, right? Knowing full well that her son was a whole ass demon whole time, but she benefited off of it in some way. Yeah, check that movie out, Stephen King's Sleepwalkers. That'll tell you about mother-son narcissistic relationships between mothers and sons. But I think all content creators should stop and just give a moment and recognize that young man who defended his mother, because no one else was doing it. And that's very, very sad. It's sad all the way around the board, but I'm glad that neither her nor her son passed away in the scenario. But that narc did. That gross ass entitled man with mommy problems did. The one that can't seem to function in public unless he has his mother's titty milk in his mouth, right? Whose mother backed his ass up, right? All right. So as women, if you're watching, the majority of us are women. If you have sons or anybody that you encourage, let's make sure we tighten up. We keep it tight. I try to keep it tight, with my son, so that we don't put any more bum bitches like that in the world, man. Because that's some shit. Because we know from our experience that narc's mother, she totally had an excuse for every single bullshit thing that fool did. And if anything, she was behind a lot of it. Anyway, I hope y'all are doing great. I just wanted to touch base on that because that was such a disturbing thing in the news lately. All right, love you. Bye.